This is Last Call Fantasy Football. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Justin, we can't hear you. AirPods, microphone issues, new setup, as you might be able to tell.
Yeah.
There we go. He's back. But we're working through ways to upgrade the visuals of the podcast. Justin no longer looks like he's using the camera from a Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it looks good. Our background's nice and clean so far this year. I seem to like it. No one has said anything negative or positive because we're still working on that engagement. So
Yeah.
But we're back with a rookie.
I got a Colts sign now.
Oh, is that why you moved the camera earlier so you could show off your Colts sign?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's cool.
You got shit. Oh, you got an electrical box.
I got my Wi-Fi, and in the mirror is my remnants of my Florida State spear. And actually, I got an Orlando Magic sign down there. I know this setup needs some feng shui. It will this year. That's my goal, to try and do something with this. It sucks that like the door is right behind me and I get this ugly ass. Oh, that's what you meant by electrical box. Okay,
Yeah.
fair. But Justin now no longer has to look at me through my computer's webcam, very bootleg ass way. So now he can see the magic as it's happening. It's probably a cool experience.
I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I'd like to see how the sausage is made every once in a while. I don't know. But speaking of the Colts, as we get into this episode, the Colts play the Broncos at Indy this year. And as all of our loyal listeners know very well, I'm a Broncos fan. Justin's a Colts fan. He's never been to a game in Indy, correct?
Yeah,
Right?
never.
Yeah, so we're going to see if we can get together and make a baby and watch Denver smack down the Colts in week 2. It's Justin.
Watching Anthony Richardson's breakout.
Yeah, okay. It didn't take my quarterback 3 years to get it done. So
We'll see how he does in his sophomore slump.
I mean, to have a sophomore slump, you at least had to be good at some point. So I'll take it. And just please don't let my jersey purchase after year 1 be a mistake and a relic. Like, imagine all of the people that bought Eddie Lacy jerseys.
You have a Knicks jersey?
Yeah, that's my blue jersey that I wear.
You know what's funny is you told me when Anthony Richardson got drafted to the Colts, I said, should I buy a Richardson jersey? And you're like, yeah, for sure. There's no way he won't be on the team, anytime soon.
Well, correct.
And then he sucked.
Well,
And now
but he's not going to
I'm not
get
going to
cut.
buy one.
Well, I didn't say buy it because he was going to be good. I said buy it because at least he's going to be on the team for several years. Like, not like when I bought my Philip Lindsay jersey and he's on the team for 1 goddamn year.
Yeah, but that's the issue with buying jerseys. I feel like if you're going to buy a jersey, like I'd rather have a DeForest Buckner jersey or a Jonathan Taylor jersey because
Yeah, so we're on Discord, so you guys know that's what that does.
because even if they aren't on the team in 2 or 3 years, at least they were good at one point. Like I'd rather have a Luck jersey than a Richardson
Oh,
jersey
yeah.
at this moment.
Well, it's very common that people do this, and I didn't know this. I realized this. They said only buy jerseys of like your team's legends. Like that's not going to change.
Yeah.
That's never going to change. Like buying a jersey for a current player, new-ish to the team is never a good idea. But I did get from Fanatics, I have the jersey insurance. But I think that only comes into play if they change teams. So if they just suck and get cut, I don't think they'll give you your money back or let you switch players. But yeah, so we're gonna try and make that work this year. Week 2, Justin didn't believe me. He said, "Oh, it makes no sense for the Broncos to play the Titans, then the Colts back to back," which
Doesn't.
I mean, it doesn't like not make sense. There's no rhyme or reason, in my opinion, why they like had to be separated. It's just they play because how
It's
does it
weird.
work?
Like they're gonna play two AFC South teams in a row.
Well, we play the whole division. We play the Jags and the Texans too. That's
No,
like
that's how it works usually. You play a whole division from the AFC and a whole division from the NFC, and then you have your division rivals
so.
and a couple more sprinkled in.
So I'm excited because that's what we got. Last year I was able to go to the Bucks Broncos game because we played all of the NFC South, and yeah, we'll see if we can make a baby in Indy and watch the ascension continue to rise. My marvelous bow.
That'd be sick. Maybe we'd have to do like a vlog or something.
Oh, for sure. We could record the hell out of that. It'd be a good time. But enough interpersonal chat. This is Last Call Fantasy Football. We're going to get started with our rookie rankings. Before we forget, as you can see, I may have drank half already. See, you can get away with it.
You can't see it, but I have to.
Sorry, call the police.
Cheers.
Cheers. Woo! All right, we're getting this thing off right. So now, we talked about the draft. You watched us live stream the draft. We did our initial reactions. And so now we had a chance to take a look at some players based on their landing spot. Current situation, again, today is May 21st, beginning of summer. Things can change. However, I think I would be shocked, barring injury, if these changed much else for me. Could be. There's one instance where one would change, but
going into the season, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Camp News,
we'll see.
Camp News does a lot.
I just think this rookie class is extremely strong for a handful of positions and a handful of specific prospects to where they're kind of locked in. But we're going to talk about it. So we'll start off with the quarterbacks. There's not much to talk about. Actually, there might be a little bit to talk about. So I am kind of excited because this was a very polarizing draft for rookie quarterbacks. Everyone knows the drama of Shedeur Sanders falling to the 5th round, being the second quarterback the Browns drafted. And then we had, obviously, Cam Ward, the least talked about number 1 overall pick I can remember, where... Did you know, I mean, at least the broadcast, we were running late on getting the live stream up. They didn't even air Cam Ward's interview with the commissioner or with post-draft thing because the Browns-Jags trade happened immediately after the Titans picked. Yeah, so like they immediately shoved Cam Ward to the side and were like, we've got a trade. And, you trade for the number 2 pick. It was kind of dramatic. But the quarterbacks, I think we're going to focus on... Well, we'll just start from the top. Obviously, I think we can just shout from the rooftops. The number 1 fantasy quarterback rookie coming in this year is Cam Ward.
When you...
Oh!
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Jackson Dart.
You think so?
I will say this.
You think so?
No, it's Cam Ward for me. It's Cam Ward.
Okay.
But I will say, if you, without a shadow of a doubt, knew that Jackson Dart was going to start day 1 and have the keys to the team, would you take him over Cam Ward for fantasy football? Because Jackson Dart is a dual athlete. Like he definitely would run. Honestly, he's a hell of a runner.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Also, he's got neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, like if he were to start day 1, I would definitely take Jackson Dart over him.
It's an interesting proposition because I do see a world where that's very, very possible. On the flip side, Cam Ward has a very much rebuilding Titans team. He's got Calvin Ridley and XYZ behind him. I mean, they took Restrepo with his college buddy, but again,
Hopkins still who's like serviceable.
Did you say Hopkins?
Yeah.
Who hasn't been on the team in 2 years? DeAndre Hopkins was with the Chiefs last year, bro.
Oh yeah.
And now he's on the Ravens, so he's no longer on the Titans at all. But point standing again. Outside of a person who's no longer even on the team, can you name another receiver? I don't. I can't because I don't care. Like they really just do not matter for me. So
I actually don't think they have any receivers from last year. Like I, Nick Westbrook Akine is gone, and he's the only other person I knew on the team.
oh yeah, which team did he go
So
to? Nick Westbrook Akine. Oh well, they got Tyler Lockett. They did sign Tyler Lockett, so that's like not nothing. I don't know why I completely forgot about Tyler Lockett signing. Well, because he signed like on draft day, which was crazy.
yeah,
But Lockett, Ridley, could be worse, could be better. Traylon Burks is nothing to me. They did draft Alec Ayamanor. I did kind of like his tape, but again, rookies was Restrepo and him. So the weapons, I mean, but again, outside of Malik Neighbors, there's not much going on with
yeah,
the Giants.
Neighbors.
But they have a better defense, I think. The Giants have a better defense. That D line is one of the top D lines in the NFL.
Yeah.
They should have a better run game. They added Scattaboo. So I can see where Dart and Cam Ward could go toe to toe. I just think Cam Ward is just a better quarterback as a whole, you know? So I just think that carries a weight. Like there's no chance in hell I would put him in the same tier of quarterback as Cam Ward, who just watching him play at Miami last year, he was never rattled, surgical. Like he looked like a pro. And Jackson Dart, most of his huge games in like the stat production came from out of conference teams and FCS teams. Like he put over 500 yards twice against FCS.
I think Jackson Dart had more potential
for fantasy football. I mean,
no, just overall as a quarterback.
I see.
Honestly, I think Jackson Dart's probably going to be the better of the two, like to end their careers. Like,
I mean, if you say that, you're saying that Jackson Dart would have been worth the number 1 overall pick. I
think time will tell.
No, but you're saying you think Jackson Dart will have a better career than the number 1 overall pick at the same position. So you're saying you think that the Titans could have potentially taken Jackson Dart? He just was never in that same category for me as a player.
I just think that he has to. I mean, he's like Josh Allen, or I mean, I guess like Anthony Richardson, where it's like if you're a team drafting him, you know you have to develop him, and then there's some teams that aren't willing to do that, and you have Cam Ward there, who's going to be so.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, I mean,
that's probably the reason.
I suppose. I mean, we're talking about fantasy football here, and I think that you have a hell of a lot longer leash as the number 1 overall pick than you do even just another first rounder at 20. Think about Kenny Pickett had the exact same draft capital, and he got 2 years.
Kenny Pickett was. I think Kenny Pickett was like the last pick or he wasn't the last, but it was like pick 30.
No, he was pick 20 something because the Steelers didn't pick last in the draft. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
No, but it was close. I think
he was where was he? Wait, what round? He was the 20th pick exactly. And so. And wait, Jackson Dart.
But yeah, but Kenny Pickett.
And he was the 25th overall.
He wasn't. Kenny Pickett wasn't the prospect that Jackson Dart was. That was like, oh my gosh, we have nobody going into the season. Let's take a shot on this guy.
Kenny Pickett at Pittsburgh.
It's completely different. Because Kenny Pickett was supposed to come in and be like somewhat of a pro already. Like he was supposed to be like pro ready, be decent from the start. Didn't have a high ceiling, but had a solid floor.
He supported Jordan Addison's best season of his career in college at Pitt. That's what gave Addison the Blitnikoff Award that last year. I'm just saying he was. I can see a similar situation, not as talent. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying like the leash is shorter, if you is longer with Cam Ward, so he's going to get more time. But for fantasy football, Cam Ward I think is just going to make better decisions. The offense can sustain longer than potentially what Jackson Dart has. I think it's a higher ceiling with Jackson Dart for fantasy purposes because he is a gunslinger. He likes to air that bitch out, and he can run a little bit. And he has a top 10 receiver in the league in Malik Neighbors. So I can see it happening. It's just if I'm going to put my money on a ranking, I'm going to put Cam Ward, then Jackson Dart. He's my number 2. And it's not like far and away off.
Wow. Is your number 2?
Who?
Dart?
At quarterback?
Yeah.
For rookie ranking quarterbacks? Yeah, absolutely.
I got Tyler Show.
No. I might take Shedeur over Tyler Shuck.
Bro, he's gonna start. This isn't dynasty rankings. Like, this is this year. Like, Jackson Dart's not starting this year, probably.
Well, okay. So
it's a very slim chance that he's gonna start over Russell Wilson and Jameis.
Okay.
At least like until 6 games in, but I don't think he's gonna start at all.
Well, so I guess the way I was going about these rankings was more so if they're like who's gonna like if they're starting, like who would I rather have? You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not.
Oh, you just went off talent?
No. Well, it wasn't like my draft rankings, like where I'm going to draft these players. It's like, so say to start the year, you can draft Cam Ward at a last pick in the draft as your backup quarterback. No one's really going to do that with Jackson Dart. But say Jackson Dart gets the start at some point during the year, I would put, in your situation, I was thinking you'd put like Jackson Dart above Cam Ward. But if we're doing draft rankings, then absolutely. I agree because you can't.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm drafting off of I'm ranking them off of like where they went and how much opportunity they're going to have.
I'm saying as far as like draft season comes around, like where your draft rankings will be.
Yeah, like my rankings are like who do I want over who when it comes to drafting.
Okay. Well, the short answer is I don't want any of them.
Yeah.
I don't see a real world.
I wouldn't even throw I don't know. Tyler Shuck could be actually not that bad of a last pick of the draft.
I mean, but why though? What are you getting that you can't get with
because he's a Justin Fields type.
Tyler Shuck, 6'5" giraffe.
Yes, all he does is run the ball.
All he does is run the ball? Is that what you said?
Have you not watched him?
Yes, I watched him. I watched Florida State whoop his ass live in person.
He's just a mobile quarterback. He's probably barely going to throw. Well, actually, this is a good comp, and this is probably a good way to think about it. He's Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, that really gets me hot and bothered. I didn't even like.
Now that I'm saying that, I rescind.
I mean, I just didn't see him. I mean, his last year he ran for 19 total yards. The year before was 149 at 3.1 yards a carry. Like that's just looking at his stat box is crazy. Oregon, Texas Tech, Louisville. That's how many years this man played college football.
Wait, he only had 19 rushing yards?
Yeah. 42 carries for 19. Well, okay. again, sidebar. Remember, college football sacks count against your yardage total. Because it says here his long run was 46 yards, but he finished the year with 19 total yards. So we'd have to look at.
He probably got sacked fucking 52 times.
Yeah, I'm curious. He got sacked 14 times. It was the most of his career last year.
Low.
I mean, they only played 12 games in college, barring championship games and playoff games and bowl games. So that's over a sack a game, which isn't great. It's not horrible, but point being, because we can sit here and talk forever about these guys, and we have some more interesting players to get to.
We need to cut this short.
Yeah, Tyler Shough does not deserve his own segment. So I think it's pretty clear. I mean, I'll draft Jackson Dart over Shough if we're talking. I'd rather just have Jackson Dart sit on my bench and wait to start, because the upside that Shough is going to give me isn't going to move the needle. I'd rather have a player sit on my bench, wait, and if they get to play and potentially being good, or having Desmond Ridder on my bench. So I'll take Cam Ward 1, Jackson Dart 2, Tyler Shough 3. If you want to get spicy, throw in Shedeur at 4 in case he wins the job.
He won't.
So, all right. Now for the fun ones. Let's start with running backs.
Let's do it.
Coming in at number 1 for me and everyone, Ashton Jeanty. No surprise. He is what? Tell me you have a different.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Dumb. But no, just the opportunity. Unfortunately, the Raiders seem to have pieced together somewhat of a good roster. I think that he is the most well-rounded running back I've seen come in the draft since Saquon. We've talked about Jeanty at length. Don't really need to spend too much time on it, at least for me personally. He is going to be everything for the team. Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly just want to use and abuse him and Brock Bowers. Shuck some Jack Besh and Jacoby Myers in there. You might have the makings of a good offense. So, any additional thoughts?
I'm excited for that team. No, I mean, Ashton Jeanty's, I don't know, he's the best running back I've seen in a really long time. And obviously he showed that in college, so.
And I don't care about the comp of him playing at Boise State, playing against whatever competition. I read his entire letter to NFL GMs prior to the draft. He gave some personalized insight on kind of why he was at Boise State. Not that it's a bad school. They're a very well-known, high-powered, just lower conference group of 5 school. But even when they played against elite teams, he was insane. So
I watched him play against Penn State and dominate still.
He had damn near 200
Penn
yards.
State, right?
Yeah, Penn State, and he had damn near 200 yards against Oregon. Like, what are we talking about?
You're talking about the team who made the playoffs, or they went all the way, right? Penn State, Notre Dame?
No, it was Ohio State. Yeah, Ohio State.
They went far into the playoffs because they had the number 1 defense.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State made them their bitch. But point being, the competition was there, opportunities there. You don't draft a running back at the number 6 overall pick and not be a game changer. So I'll let you start with number 2 then.
All right. My number 2 is Judkins.
Same Z's.
Quinshon Judkins.
Oh, wait. I don't know why I just assumed you said Hampton.
No, I said Judkins.
I know. I don't know why. I was like, oh yeah, same. Just assuming we had the same one, but no.
What? You said you didn't like Hampton.
Hampton? Well, I just didn't want Denver to draft him.
Yeah, but you said you didn't think he was going to get all the work because Najee.
Yeah, I still think I think he's better than Judkins. So, just as a player. And I think if you take a running back in the first round, I don't know. We'll get into Hampton later, but
So again, you picked. Okay.
what do you what?
Well, I don't understand. Like, what in what world do we rank that way? You pick the better player over the better person for
No,
fantasy.
no. This is who I would draft. Judkins and Hampton are right
You would
next to each
draft
other.
Hampton over Judkins.
Yeah. I know you've seen the graphic of my rankings, and if you follow us on Instagram, you've seen this, so you know what I think of Judkins already. Unless you didn't pay attention to where it was.
Uh,
So tell
okay.
me why
I
Judkins is
mean,
number 2.
because I think he has all the opportunity in the world, and I
Correct.
actually think he's a really good running back. I mean, a lot of people thought that Henderson was the best back on that team, and I honestly don't think that. I think Judkins is the more well-rounded. He's just a good back. Like I think he is on par with a David Montgomery or a Nick Chubb player. He's really good,
Yeah.
and he was the first running back selected after Chanty.
No, Hampton was, but
So,
he was the third running back in the class.
oh, was Hampton selected?
Yeah,
Are you
Hampton.
sure?
Yeah, Hampton was a first rounder. Hampton went to the Chargers at 21, the one pick after Denver picked.
Okay,
We,
I'm not
I was
remembering
gonna
very
say we
well.
had lots of fun that Thursday night, 3 hours later.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but essentially, the way I see Judkins is I don't think the Browns are going to be good, and for me, that weighs a huge. That's a huge deal for running backs and scoring opportunities because Judkins to me is a guy who is going to be like David Montgomery, which great. I love me some David Montgomery. I think Judkins is a great player, but he's going to need the touchdowns. He's not going to kill you with the receiving work. He's not going to gash you for chunk plays. So I think for fantasy, he's going to be heavily reliant on touchdowns. So he's going to be wishy-washy. He's going to be fine, and I would happily have him on my team. It's just I don't see the upside case for him to be the number 2 behind some of the other guys. They're on better teams, similarly talented, and don't have that parity, in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess that's where we differ. Is that I don't think that he needs all the touchdowns. Like obviously, any running back needs touchdowns. And yeah, he'll need more touchdowns than Henderson because Henderson might get more receiving work. But I just think that I don't think the yardage is going to be an issue for him. I think he's going to be one of those backs where he's going to get 100, 80 to 100 yards a game and probably one touchdown.
Yeah, and I think that's.
I mean,
I think it's fair. It's definitely within the range of outcomes of what he can do. I'm telling you, I liked him a lot. And would I have rather had Denver draft Judkins instead of Harvey where they did? Yeah, absolutely. I just think he's a better pedigree of a back, a couple years younger, whatever. But it's just team strength and just with a rookie quarterback or Kenny Pickett. And yes, he could be great with the volume because again, they have who? Jerome? No. What's his name?
Jerome Ford.
Yeah, Jerome Ford, who signed a deal to stay on the team. So he's going to sprinkle in, but you don't take Judkins, I think, with the first or second pick in the second round and not be the feature back. So
Yeah.
I'm in on Judkins. I just don't. I think this running back class is loaded for him to not be at number 2. So I guess I'll just segue into my number 2, which we now know is Hampton. Hampton is, I think, the most fail-proof back in the draft. He checks every stereotypical box. The only negative I see him having right now is Najee Harris on the team. However, I think that they're going to get enough work, and Hampton has the ability to have those long bruising runs like a Derrick Henry can have, and get some goal line work on a much better team than the Browns. Like the Chargers are going to win
I mean,
8 to 10 games, and I think that that's a huge part of it. And I know that they still want to run the ball. Hampton is an elite prospect. He just wasn't my favorite type of style for me to like want on my team on the Broncos to pick in the first round, because he was there, and remember during the draft I was like, don't do it. I was like, oh, now we're gonna get Hampton because Egbuka went one pick before Denver picked, and I was like, he's still on the board.
Yeah.
So
that's where I'm a little confused. I don't agree. I think that he is one of the. I think he talent wise is the most likely to bust.
The comp
I actually really like the team that he went to, so I like him. But I just think that he is just like a big meatball, and he's just. I think that the reason why he had so much success, and I'm not saying that he can't also have the same. I like him. I like a lot, but I think a lot of the reason he had a success was because of his size, and once you get to the NFL, size doesn't matter as much. Unless you're Derrick Henry. But even Derrick Henry, like if Derrick Henry was his size but didn't have the agility and speed and wasn't the freak that he is, like it wouldn't matter.
Well, funny enough, my comp for Hampton was Najee Harris coming out of school. Extremely productive, over 6 feet tall, somewhere between not the like largest running back
like
you've ever
Eddie
seen,
or Najee.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like those, and Najee was great his rookie year.
Trent Richardson.
Yeah, but that's sure that would be that's the downside. That's the bottom of the barrel outcome. Which again, he went to the Browns. That's where running backs go to die. So.
Well, no, he went to the Chargers.
Well.
Are you talking about Trent?
Yeah, Trent Richardson. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I've got Hampton at 2. So if they were right next to each other in our drafts, I would be taking Hampton over Judkins. But that's our 2. I guess I'll do my number 3 then. Coming in at rookie RB3 is my favorite running back in the class, Travion Henderson, which if he wasn't so special in pass protection and receiving work, he would not be here. Because going again, what I said about Judkins as far as talent or team wins and how good the team is going to be, I still think the Patriots are going to suck this year. So I think Henderson is probably a safe option. I think his upside is incredible because he has that long speed. Like his comp for me was Jahmyr Gibbs. Like he has that foot in the ground, make it upfield, make someone miss quickly. His agility is like a one cut. It doesn't take long. It's almost like when I watch Jahmyr Gibbs, sometimes he doesn't make sense to me because he'll make someone miss by doing nothing. It's almost just like he changes direction and then the defender's on the ground. And that's how I see. That's a great word, floats. I see Travion Henderson just floats in the open field. Decisive runner. Again, he has the negative behind.
Dalvin Cook used to be back in the day.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook floated. It's just some players just had it when you saw them play. That's how I saw him, and he just has a Ramondre problem, but it doesn't scare me that much, and just the downside of the Patriots. Is he your 3?
Typically, no, I've got Caleb Johnson at 3. And so you can probably see a trend here where it's like I'm going opportunity. I want the least path to resistance. I don't necessarily care. Okay, let me put it this way. I do care about how bad the team is. I agree. I know there's a lot of stats out there that when teams suck, the running backs also suck. Unless it's like a generational talent like Ashton Jeanty or Saquon, where like it doesn't matter. But even the Giants and Saquon, like Saquon had some down years because of how bad the team was.
For sure.
But okay, in my opinion, the reason why I have him high still is because the Browns are just notorious for having a really good run game, no matter how bad the team is, like NFL wise. They've just always had good running backs and a good run game. So that's where I don't care. But Caleb Johnson, I just like his opportunity a lot. I don't think Jalen Warren, come the start of the season, is going to be that much competition. I think he's going to play the same role he's always played because he played that even with Najee on the field.
Well,
And Caleb Johnson is a better player.
correct, but I'm saying if I'm remembering correctly,
He got some more work last year because Najee just was that bad. And it was almost a 50-50 time split. But I'm just saying.
well, that's what I'm saying. It was like 50-50 is not what I want.
Yeah, but okay, but what I'm saying is that like it wasn't because Warren all of a sudden got better. It was because Najee got worse. Like Najee's trended downward throughout his career, and so you have an upward trend of Jalen Warren. And I don't think it is the fact that Jalen Warren's just gotten better and better. I don't think that's the case.
I mean,
So I think that Caleb Johnson is going to come in, be fresh legs, and he's just a really good runner. I mean, he pretty much carried his team
yeah,
throughout the years.
Caleb Johnson, to me, my pro comp for him was Kenneth Walker. I see them as they can hit the home run. He's a one cut and go guy. So if that one cut isn't the best cut, then then the play ends there. He's not crafty. Like down the field, his long speed is great, and he would just make the one cut, and if he hit the right hole, he was gone. And Kenneth Walker can do that too. Like
that's a good comp.
Similar size.
I like that comp because
similar opportunity with
they're,
him and
they're weird running backs because I think because they're like actually decent sized backs. They're like actually decent sized backs, and yet they're like about as fast as Hexton. You know what I mean? And I think that's why they can only make that one cut, is because they have so much weight on them. They can't do all this.
Yeah, it's just
irky jerky shit, and they're just one cut and gone though. Like they just have that quick twitch speed.
Well, I kind of see it this way: is there's a difference between being fast and being quick. Both those guys, both Caleb Johnson and Kenneth Walker, are fast. They're not necessarily quick guys. Change of direction. But I just pulled up the snap counts. What's his name? Najee Harris, 50% of snaps. Jalen Warren, 40% of snaps, and he missed a few games. And not that I'm saying it's that Caleb Johnson isn't going to be the better back at the time. I just think Arthur Smith wants to use them both. They talk Jalen Warren up a ton. So I don't think his opportunity is as set in stone as you do. But like you said, if he's the better player, Mike Tomlin's smart. He could take over the lead back role, and they could be the next Le'Veon Bell. So.
Yeah. I also think that, literally, I don't know who their quarterback is right now. So it could just be the fact that, they both get a ton of carries, and it doesn't matter that Jalen Warren is splitting the work.
Or the deal falls through with Aaron Rodgers, and now they have Mason Rudolph starting all year long, and the team sucks, and they both suck. So there's a wide range of outcomes for me with the Steelers and Johnson this year. Again, and for what it's worth, he was a third-round guy. He wasn't a second-round guy, like the first or second, like the rest of these guys, if that means anything to you. However, coming in at number 4 for me, my favorite running back so far in the class is very clearly Mr. R.J. Harvey of the Denver Broncos. I watched his highlights. I think he has the best vision in the class. There would be opportunities where he would run into a stuffed wall, make one cut, make one guy miss, make another cut, and then he's gone. Like, he was just so agile. And he's a smaller guy. He's the same size as Genty. He's 5'9", 195. But his receiving work was incredible. He had great down the field receptions, which you don't really see a lot in college football. And you see it more in the NFL. Certain guys are down the field catching passes, but it looked really jarring, and I couldn't figure out why. Watching his tape, what was so weird about this, but seeing him run up the seam and catch
like actual routes, yeah,
an actual route. My comp was DeAndre Swift for him. Little bit undersized, but very low center of gravity and quick as hell to start. I think he had a way better production profile than Swift did. I know Swift was a early second rounder. Harvey went probably 15-ish picks later, but the opportunity with a much improved Denver team, second year Bo Nix, the offensive line was last year's highest graded run success rate of any team in football. We just had awful running backs last year. Do I think Harvey is going to get 100% of the work? I don't. That's why he's down at 4. He would probably be, I mean, if you replaced, no, I guess it wouldn't really work what I was thinking, but I think his opportunity is going to be fine.
Hope is a dangerous thing.
Okay, Darth Vader. Yes.
Hope is a dangerous thing, people, because you got Kyle, you can't listen to a word Kyle says about RJ Harvey going forward.
Maybe not.
He's
but
talking to him like, yeah, basically he's Ashton Jeanty. I've never seen anything like him.
Did I say anything? I said freaking DeAndre Swift was my comp, and he's number 4 on my list. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. But I don't know. Like, I actually watched his tape today because I was like, Kyle's going to talk about it. And also, I haven't really gave him a shot. I didn't think he was going to get drafted anywhere near where he did.
He had like a third round grade.
A ton of his tape.
I
didn't watch a ton of his tape. So I went and watched it today. And the vision, you're 100% right. I think he has really good vision. And I think that's just because he's probably been a running back for a really long time. Like, he's probably not one of those players who's like switched from linebacker to wide receiver or whatever. Like, I think he's probably been a running back for a long time. And also, he's old and he's played the position for a long time. And I don't knock him for that.
No, he had a couple injuries.
The only thing I really knock him for is his size. And the only reason that I really knock him for it is when I watch the tape, he is fast, but he's not quick, is what I saw. Like, he doesn't have, when he makes his cuts, he's like, doesn't change speed. You know what I mean? Like, when he gets to the line of scrimmage, there's not like a burst of speed from him and he can just take off and burn people. Like, most of the time that he would like get around the edge, like, he would get 40 yards, but he was just constantly getting caught before he got to the end zone. And he just doesn't have that like next level agility. And but that's all to say that I think he's going to be good too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking like production and like what he had, I think, the most touchdowns in football last year, most rushing touchdowns. He had back-to-back 1,500 plus rushing seasons. So he just has the production to prove that like he can play.
Well,
I'm not saying he's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. I think he's going to be a very capable back.
The production's tough though too because.
Well, listen, everyone. Yes, Justin keeps thinking that UCF is freaking Alabama Tech over here playing.
No, okay, but who do they play?
I will show you.
Look it up because I think the people need to hear. Like, I'm telling you, they don't play. He doesn't have a hard schedule. That's all I'm saying.
But if we're talking about size and schedule is the issue, Genty had a worse schedule, and so are they the exact same size?
I highly doubt.
They played Utah, West Virginia, Arizona State, BYU, Iowa State, 3 ranked teams, by the way.
Good
Cincinnati,
offense. No more good defenses.
Colorado, Florida, TCU, then Sam Houston, New Hampshire, Georgia Tech, they're cupcake games to start the year. Those are not like loser ass schools. They're in the Big 12. They leveled up the last 2 years.
None of those schools are teams that would.
Arizona State made the Final Four in the college football playoff this year.
Yeah, but
BYU is the 17th ranked team. Iowa State 18th ranked team. They played Colorado, who was 23. They played Florida last year. I'm just saying they're not. I didn't say they had a top 10 tough schedule in the country, but I'm saying the general. If you were to look at Boise State's strength of schedule versus UCF, I guarantee it doubles what Boise State played. And I'm not saying he's Ashton Denty. I'm just saying if that's the argument, I don't think it has as much weight behind it as you think. I would love for him to be Ashton Denty. So if I can speak that into existence, I will. My hesitation with Harvey is purely usage, because I know that Sean Payton is unpredictable and very quick to change his mind with running backs. And he very much likes running backs having specific roles on the team. Estime is there and McLaughlin is there. Estime, I like him as a player. When I watched him, I thought he was fine. As a first and second down, need 3 yards. He's a big bowling ball. But just in between the 20s, and I think he has a long speed. I don't know. I just liked Harvey the more I looked into it. I think he scored a bajillion touchdowns in college. That's always a good indicator for fantasy football going forward. They drafted him way higher than what he was expected to. Sean Payton must have liked him. The team liked him. They did that for both him and Pat Bryant, their 3rd-round pick. And hope is dangerous, but
I think without a doubt he'll be the starting back. But I do think I think Estime could be the goal line guy, which then that would kind of suck because then you would need the yardage. But I do see RJ Harvey being a guy who can honestly get it done without the touchdowns too.
All right, so let's play a real quick game. Just say the number of the round that you would be willing to draft RJ Harvey.
Ooh, in redraft?
Yeah, like this year. Like he's wherever he's at, if he's available, like where would you be comfortable taking him?
Dude, that's kind of tough because I don't even know where like people are going right now.
Just off the top of your head, I want to see like where exactly you think it would be. Ready?
I think he probably deserves to go.
I want to do it at the same time. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and then just say the number.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, 5.
8.
8?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay. I almost went 5 or 6.
That's crazy.
I think I prefer the 6th round just because of the potential usage concerns, but
I think there's some pretty good running backs going like.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, for example, RJ Harvey or DeAndre Swift. They probably would go in about the same. Like Swift is probably going what 6th round ish.
That's a good one. Honestly, I see them very similarly.
It's almost like it was a good comp.
Well, I think Swift has a resurgence this year, so I do like Swift a lot. But if I was in a draft, I would take Harvey over Swift just because it's the new hotness. Truthfully.
Yeah.
So
more fun.
Yeah, I mean Harvey.
All right. Well, so since we've talked about all the same backs up until this point, to close it out, because we both. Do you have anyone else? No, we talked about everyone. Wait, so where was Harvey for you?
I didn't give my 4th pick.
Well, what I'm saying, but we talked about all those players, no?
Okay, yeah. I mean, we could go on for sure.
Well, I'm saying just from top down, mine is Genty, Hampton, Travion at 3, RJ Harvey at 4, Quinshon Judkins I have at 5, and then Caleb Johnson at 6. So
I have Ashton Jeanty, Judkins, Caleb Johnson, Hampton, Harvey, Henderson.
yeah, so you have Harvey over Henderson,
Yes. Yeah. Just
and
I
you
I
keep
just don't
wanting.
like the Patriots.
I don't either. It's gross. When he went there, I literally said, yuck.
Even though they drafted Will Campbell, so it's like I do think they're rebuilding in the right way.
Yeah, Drake May year 2. They short up a little bit of the O line. They got Stephon Diggs. Get the Patriots some help.
Well, I don't think they're gonna be good, but I'm just
No,
saying I think Ramon for one, I think Ramondre is actually pretty good. Obviously, the last couple of years he hasn't been what we thought he was going to be, but I think he's still decent. And I think the Patriots, they always draft this back. They always draft the Sony Michel, the freak. What was his name? White.
Danny Woodhead.
What's White's name?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep.
What is his first name?
Yep. I can't want to say like Rashard White, but obviously that's not him. Brandon White? No, James White. James White. Found it.
James White. Okay, anyways, yes, they always draft these players and they always put them in the slot that they are meant to be in. So it's a little scary.
I don't know. But that's interesting. I figured you liked Henderson as a player more to like make up for that. Which again, it's case by case basis versus player versus opportunity versus team versus all the surrounding circumstances.
When it comes, I think position or landing spot plays a really big role unless you're like a generational talent. And I just think Henderson is maybe not a generational talent, but like, I mean, I think he's similar to like Breece Hall, like talent-wise.
Well, if we were doing pre-draft rankings, I would have had Henderson at 2. It'd have been Genty Henderson, and so that's kind of where my third ranking. I put Hampton above him because I think he went to a great spot, and Hampton is really good as well. But I think that's a fair. We're saying the same thing, just with different players because we view different players in different lights in different situations in different lights. But I want to do really quick, just rifle through them because I enjoyed that ADP round drafting game. Let's do it with all 6 of them. So Ashton Jeanty.
Okay.
3, 2.
What round?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just say it. 3, 2, 1, 2.
2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, honestly, I might be comfortable in round 1. However,
if
he doesn't have to go in round 1, I was like, it's a smash in round 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if I was at the back of the first, I probably would be taking him.
Look, if Bijan can go as a top 5-6 pick his rookie year without taking a snap in the NFL, and I think Jeanty is a much better prospect than him, then I'd be shocked if he doesn't get hyped up throughout training camp, through whatever, to the first round. But 2 is a solid number. So all right, let's do Hampton. 3,
all right.
2, 1, 5.
4. I was gonna say 5, so that's funny. I have last second change it.
I was gonna say 4, and last second I changed 5. Only because I think about this game this way. It's like, do I want them to be my RB1 or 2 or 3? So like then I have to go down around per that. He could be my RB2, preferably RB3. Is he gonna get there? Probably not. But maybe I'm just a pussy and am out here afraid to make wrong decisions. So, all right, then do Henderson. 3.
Wait, before you go, are we drafting where we think they are gonna go, or where we think we would take them?
What round would you be comfortable taking them? Like, where do we value them? Okay. Is that what you had to do? I would change mine. 5. Okay. Then Henderson. 3, 2, 1, 5.
5.
I think I am having a running theme here. Is if it's not Jeanty in round 1 or 2, I think I'm gonna wait till round 4 or 5 before I.
Basically, my approach is gonna be Ashton Jeanty can go like if he gets to me in the second round, then I'm probably taking him. And then it's like the rest of the guys, like I'm probably taking almost every single one of these rookie running backs after the established running backs that are already out there. Like I'm taking Mixon, David Montgomery, James Conner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking all those guys who are going probably in like at least the third or fourth or maybe even early fifth over these guys. So I don't think that that's going to be consensus. I think that we're going to be kind of, I guess not bullish. What's the opposite of bullish?
Skittish.
Pessimistic. I think we're going to be pessimistic about these backs personally.
We'll see how once ADP on sleeper shakes out a little bit more. Who knows? We might have to be more bullish on these depending on where they go and where other players fall. So right now, it's looking like that 4 or 5, 6 range is where we're comfortable. It's because it's the unknown, but
yeah,
there's so many instances where these guys end up as a top 12 running back, top 10, top 8. Between
the scary thing is that it could be any of them, and that's what's weird about this season.
So that's great. So that's why it's like shoot your shot, take them as your RB2, and then fill with depth later, which you can get because you could easily take Genty in round 2, Mixon in round 4, and Judkins in round 5. Like that could be your.
This draft is really similar to the year that we had DeAndre Swift. Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, Sony Michel.
Oh, well, that class was great.
Yeah, this class was very similar to that class, where it's like nobody knew who was going to be the best back out of that class.
Yeah.
I mean, we do know that Ashton Jancy is going to be the best back, but
I do. I hope it's RJ Harvey though. So
I bet you do.
All right, one more.
And then I hope it's going to be DJ Gibbs.
Okay, bro. One more, and we're right at an hour. Do you want to just do wide receivers and tight ends in next episode?
No, let's just send it. We'll go quick.
Okay.
The tight ends, well, let's not even explain tight ends. We'll just fucking say who we got. And then let's just try to go faster through the wide receivers.
Well, so one more ADP game. Caleb Johnson. 3, 2, 1, 7.
Wait. Oh, sorry. 7.
So you said 7 for Johnson?
Bro, I didn't. You said ADP game, and then I forgot that was what we were doing. So.
Yeah. So when you ranked Johnson as your number 3, you're taking him 2 rounds after Henderson that you have ranked at 6 or 5.
No. Okay.
Oh, you called me out.
No, it's like I said. I'm going to be taking the Mixon, Montgomery, Connors, and then it's going to go in the list of my rankings.
But that didn't sound like it was in the list of your rankings.
Technically not. No.
That would have been your last one. So whatever.
Honestly, I just copied you on that one.
Yeah, I know. You're degenerate. So, okay, whatever. We're moving on. The running backs are going to be great. Don't overthink it too much, is the long story short here. Which we needed. The NFL needed a influx of good backs because we were running out. Like, think of all the greats of old that have been stalwarts forever. Like Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette. Like the guys, like they're all gone, and no one. Oh, did Brees replace them? No, Bijan, he's well on his way. But who else has come in and become a superstar? Gibbs.
We got Gibbs.
But that was 2 years ago that Bijan and Gibbs came. No one out there hasn't been an addition anywhere. It didn't help that last year's class added no one.
Class sucked.
But all right. Let's run through these wide receivers. Actually, while I'm here, I can show the graphic that we posted on Instagram. So this is why I thought Justin knew where I was coming from, because I posted this and we both share the account. So I know you've seen this before. But I digress. So back to wide receivers. Number 1, I think we still have it the same, unless because Justin.
Should we say it? Should we just go through and say it at the same time? Remember we used to do that
Oh
last
yeah.
season?
All right. All right. So ready?
All right. Are you ready?
Yep. 3, 2, 1. Travis Hunter.
Egbuka.
At number 1?
Wow, you have Travis Hunter at 1?
Hell yeah, I do. I didn't trade my whole future in Dynasty for ain't no number 1.
You're so fucking biased, man.
Listen.
This is fucking crazy. This is wild work, bro.
No, it's not.
He gets fucking Travis Hunter on his Dynasty team, and now he's fucking number 1. When going into the draft, you were like, I don't even know if he's going to be a wide receiver or quarterback.
Which is true. But again, as any normal person would, upon gaining new information,
we still don't know.
The coach has come out and said himself, he said, we view Hunter as a wide receiver and will sprinkle him in on defense. Those exact words. Sprinkle him in on defense. And just from all the clips out of training camp so far, no one has seen him work with the corners. He's not a corner so far. And that is
interesting because so basically what you're saying is that you do think that he's going to be second to Brian Thomas. You think he's going to be 1B?
Very possible, yeah. Yeah, very possible, which is fine. I don't see every other. This is the worst. This year's receiver class is last year's running back class. It's all a bunch of guys who probably wouldn't be as propped up as they were if they weren't the only ones there. And we'll get into other players, but as far as Hunter, he, as number 2 overall, traded up for draft capital. He is prolific with the ball in his hands. I think the Jags' run game is going to suck. So I think that they are going to just be a creative offense with Liam Cohen. And who else do they have? They have Hunter and BTJ. That's one alpha
Christian
receiver.
Kirk.
Huh? Christian
Don't
Kirk?
they have Christian Kirk now?
No, he's on the Texans. Where's Gabe Davis? They cut him too.
Oh, yeah.
They got nobody.
No, yeah, I mean,
and
yeah. Okay, well,
I'm just saying that's my reason he's number 1 is you don't trade up for the number 2 overall pick to not feature him in how you see fit. I really like Liam Cohen as the coach. Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't scare me. He very well could be he could have 400 more yards and 3 more touchdowns. That's fine. Trevor Lawrence is going to throw for 3,500 yards. I'm cool with 1,008 for Travis Hunter as a rookie receiver. From the rest of the catalog here, I think he is worth the number 1 ranking spot.
all right, well, let me defend myself, I guess. I mean,
Well, that's fine.
I don't know. I just keep going through and watching Ibuka's tape.
Yeah,
Like, it's
great.
just really fun to even just watch him. I think that you can just tell that the work that he's put into being a wide receiver, like, he just looks so smooth. Everything he does looks like he's been in the NFL for years. When he's running his routes, they are crisp.
Yeah.
There's not a better route runner in the class.
No, I don't think so either.
And also, he is like,
I
he's
didn't know
not
you
the
got
biggest
fantasy
guy.
points for running routes though.
Okay, well, whatever. You get fantasy points for being open and catching the ball. And that's also something he does really freaking well. He never drops the ball. He's got glue hands. He's like Keon Coleman. I was watching some of his things, and, like, he's not the biggest guy. So, like, you wouldn't expect him to be, like, mossing people, but he is. I saw a play. It was on the goal line. He ran a slant route across the middle. It was a hospital ball. But he went up against 2 defenders in the middle of them, got sandwiched, caught the ball, touchdown.
Yeah, he's great.
I think he's being slept on for, I don't know what the reason maybe because he's not the fastest, and
He's just
maybe because there's nothing really special about him other than he's just really good at everything.
yeah, and I agree. I loved Ibuka. I wanted Denver to draft him. However, as what I just mentioned, like what doesn't worry me about Travis Hunter with BTJ, one receiver I'm cool with. Two, not so much. I like Ibuka a lot, but we talked about this on our first episode of the season. Aside from the draft, my comp for him was Jackson Smith and Jigba, which I like Jason as a player. I think he's very similar, stature wise, play style wise, skill set wise, and he finished his rookie year with 600 yards. And Ibuka can do that.
Yes, but I think I said this in the last episode too, is that Nick Jigba came into a team with two wide receivers in their prime.
And Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are.
I
would rather have taken Mike Evans and Chris Godwin over that version of DK
Mike
Metcalf
Evans is
and
not
Lockett.
in his prime. Mike Evans, for the first time in his career, struggled to get 1,000 yards.
Not the first time.
He
got 1,000.
Force feed the ball the last game to get him the yards.
He missed games.
He played every fucking game.
He did not.
He did not miss that many games.
It doesn't matter. You said he played every game. I'm telling you.
Maybe he missed one game. Look it up, because I don't think he missed very many games. I think I had him on one of my teams, or my dynasty team.
He played.
Either way, he is getting worse and worse and worse. And so the Bucs don't draft Ibuka in the first round if they didn't need a wide receiver.
Played 14 games. He missed 3 games.
Okay, that's about the same as almost every other wide receiver.
1,004 yards. But he also...
Which, again, he's force-fed the fucking 1,000 yards. The last, 3 games, I remember they just did whatever they could.
Well, in 2020, he had 1,006 yards. And then in 2017, he had 1,001 yards. So, this was
yeah, you're talking about Mike Glennon days, but yeah.
Well, 2017, that was Jameis Winston. back in the day. But... point being is this team quarterback situation, the offense as a whole, is better than the situation that JSN went into. And I worried about it with JSN. And JSN, granted, it could be a positive. The offense is better. They could get him in the mix. I like Ibuka a lot. I'm just saying, I'm not hating on the number. He could finish.
I'm saying
as
the
number
offense
one
is better.
rookie.
And the competition is worse.
Well, that's the part I disagree with. I think Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
I just don't understand how you can take Chris Godwin over Tyler Lockett 3 years ago.
Because Chris Godwin is elite when healthy.
He just tore his fucking ACL for the third time, dude.
He broke his ankle.
Whatever.
I'm just saying. He is. We talked about this last show, and then we'll move on. Because you keep thinking I'm shitting on Ibuka. I'm just saying opportunity. This is for the future. They drafted best player available for the future and depth because Mike Evans doesn't have much longer. Chris Godwin only signed a 2 or 3 year deal.
I think it was 3 years, but...
So I just think that they saw that they had a good thing going. Let's build upon it. It's just opportunity, and opportunity is huge in fantasy, not just for running backs, for receivers as well. If you've got a Hall of Famer and a guy that they just re-signed for a lot of money ahead of him and a rookie, not to mention Jalen McMillan wasn't a nobody last year. Granted, do I think Ibuka is better than McMillan? Sure. But is he going to get kicked to the practice squad? No. So play the game.
McMillan plays a different role.
Only so many receivers can be on the field. And if we're talking about roles, then are they going to bench Chris Godwin? No.
I don't think Chris Godwin's going to play at the beginning of the season.
I mean, from all accounts I've seen, is he's healthy enough. But it can happen.
Okay.
All right. Well, so do the game real quick. Let's do it with Hunter. We'll do it each one. When would you draft Travis Hunter? Which round? Ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, 6.
5.
Huh. I think the variance is higher.
I really need like a draft board, I think, in front of my face because I don't know who's going there.
That's true. We don't have to keep doing this. I just wanted an initial like thought.
No, it's fun, but I just don't know like.
Well, for reference, Brian Thomas Jr.
that...
went in the 11th round last year. Like it was
11.
You know, but this is where we would take them. So it's like what you think of it, you know. But obviously, I took Brian Thomas Jr. in the 11th and was happy about it just because it was like, oh, well, we'll see what happens. And then sometimes you know, strike oil. But whatever. Let's just move on. Number 2. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Tetairoa McMillan.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I also... Have you heard the video with his mom?
No.
No one's supposed to call him Tet.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying. He's like, that's not my name. And then they were like, why? And he said, ask my mom. And they like turned around and she was like, I didn't name him Tet. I named him Tetairoa or T-Mac is his nickname. His name's not Tet. So they were like, okay, no more Tet.
All right, but now I fucking hate him even more.
Well, he's your number 2.
Okay, bro. Shut the fuck up and take your nickname, rookie.
Just
go fucking ball out, and then you can tell people, I'm not Ted.
Fair.
Bro, shut up. I mean, come on. That grinds my gears, dude.
Hey, it's a social and cultural thing. His name is Tetairoa McMillan.
Was he fucking Native American?
He's Hawaiian.
Yeah, you just did some fucking... Boy.
What accent do Hawaiians have? I can't do that. I don't know.
I don't know how you do that shit.
Yeah, that. Tetairoa McMillan. I think he is my favorite prototypical fantasy wide receiver. Big body X is going to have touchdown opportunity. The only reason he's not one is the Panthers. Is because of the Panthers and my trust that they could support him fully year one, especially with Thielen and Leggett still there. Obviously, I think Tet takes over that number 1, but Bryce Young still hasn't shown that he can support anyone of consistent fantasy relevance, and Trevor Lawrence has, and I don't know. That's just, I mean, I like Tet too a lot. He is just someone that it would take him to fall for me to be willing to stash him on my bench and see if it works out.
You've watched the tape of both, right? Or like pretty much all these receivers, right?
Yeah.
Who'd like, regardless of like opportunity and stuff, like would you still take Tet over Ibuka if it like, well, I guess not if the roles are reversed because it's opportunity. Like, who do you think is a better receiver between the two?
Better wide receiver is probably Ibuka.
Okay.
It's just a different skill set. I mean, I think Tet...
Because I know you like Tet a lot, and like I do like him, but I just don't think he's that polished of a receiver.
Oh, I think McMillan's ceiling is Mike Evans. His floor is Courtland Sutton.
I agree. That's actually really good. And
I like Sutton
for me at least, I think Ibuka is like, I think Ibuka could be this. Maybe I'm being too fucking bullish here. I think Ibuka could be Justin Jefferson, and I think that his floor is probably like Devonta Smith.
If Ibuka turns out to be Devontae Smith, I think that any NFL team would take that. Like, that would be a smashing success for them. To be Devontae Smith. Igbuka's, like I said, his comp for me was JSN, but that's like a current. So, in TBD how JSN turns out after his breakout year last year.
Yeah.
So I would rather have Igbuka, or I think Igbuka is a better wide receiver. But as far as fantasy goes, I'm I would prefer McMillan. It's just my preference.
All right. No, I mean, obviously, truthfully, the only reason that I have Tet under him is because of situation, and I don't. I just I find it hard to believe that Bryce Young actually turned it around. I don't know why. Just kind of a hater of him, and I just feel like they're gonna suck really bad again.
Yeah, I think they'll be much
Yeah.
better.
Oh no,
I
I
do.
think that he did not change. I don't think that he made. I don't know. I don't know why I think that. I mean, obviously he played better. Um, I don't know. I just feel like it was fool's gold.
And it very well could be. That's it wasn't, and that's why I said that's why he's not my number one, is because
There's just yeah.
I
There's
just
just
don't.
not many quarterbacks who have sucked that bad in their rookie season and gone on to do well.
Yeah, which I agree. So there's definitely room for it to go south. Leggett was a
Yeah.
first round pick last year, and he was fantasy garbage. But I also didn't care
Yeah.
for Leggett as a prospect, to be honest. But uh, I don't know. I mean, and so coming in at number three,
Well, obviously it's yeah. You have Igbuka. I have Hunter.
yeah. Well, I didn't know you had Hunter, so I was gonna say we could do it. We don't have to, but no. Igbuka is my three. Hunter is three for you. So now number four. Three,
I think it's interesting. All right, all right.
three, two, one. Luther Burden,
Higgins.
Jaden Higgins.
Yeah.
Okay. I I'm probably lower on Higgins than I should be, if I'm being 100% honest.
I was until today. I just kind of made the decision like, why would I not be in on him? Like that team is really they lost Tank Dell. He's not going to be back this season. They lost Stephon Diggs. Nico Collins already had as many targets as a wide receiver can have last year, and they need and Joe Mixon can't handle that many carries, man. I mean, they've
Mm-hmm.
got to pass the ball for that team to be successful, and they know it. And so I think he's like, I just feel like he's a good prospect, and he has no choice but to
Be good.
do some work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like he's gonna be at least relevant this season for sure.
Yeah, he has another day two pick, Dylan Noel, drafted right behind him
Yeah.
to the team. But there's plenty of wide receiver opportunities, so I'm not concerned with that for him. It's just how quickly I get nervous when a not top tier prospect gets the immediate opportunity, because I feel like that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of like shoes to fill. Where more likely than not, like I told you, Christian Kirk is there. Christian Kirk might take some of the load in the beginning, and he might not blossom to a fantasy superstar or even a relevant player till 3/4 way through the season. Which is fine, and that's why I said I might be lower, because that was my initial thought. But his tape was great. He's like a Tet Junior to me.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm interested in the Burden though.
yeah,
I
I
so
love.
okay, I actually
Luther
really
Burden.
like Burden a lot.
I love Luther Burden as a player,
I like him too, but my only issue is that there's no shot he's the number one wide receiver on the team.
which is fine if he was a conventional football player. He is a Debo
Yeah.
Samuel light. They don't have a run game all figured out. He lived on jet sweeps and crossers and just like manufactured touches. And he's a beast with the ball in his hand. So I can see a world where he has incredibly low yardage. So Again, this is a very weak wide receiver class. I'm not, even though he is number 4 on my list, I'm not saying I'm going to draft this guy highly. I could see him finish the year with 500 yards, but like 7 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, because
Well, I will say I think it's not. I would not say it's a weak class. I would say that
I
it
would.
doesn't have the top talent, but I actually think it's a very deep class
Well, there's
because I think there's a lot of guys that honestly could be the best wide receiver in this draft. Like I think you could 100%. I could see 100% a world where Burden, Besh, Golden, Trey Harris, Higgins, Noel. I think any of these guys could end up being like the number one pick. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's very deep. I think there's a lot of like
what do you mean the number
just
one
solid
pick?
people who are
Like they could be the number 1 receiver?
of this draft class.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I
Well, also like I think last year we was there even a rookie wide receiver that okay, we had
what do you mean?
neighbors.
Have
Okay,
Marvin
we actually
Harrison,
okay.
Neighbors,
Never mind, never mind.
Rome.
Well, I didn't really finish my sentence. I was saying like that made a impact because I was gonna say that like any of these guys can make a like I think they're all going to be relevant this year, which is not common, I would say.
I mean, yeah. Well, because again, I
They all
think
just went
we're
to really good landing spot.
right. And I think, well, because it takes a lot to draft a wide receiver early. Like, that's a commitment. And the team wouldn't be taking these players if it wasn't necessarily needed. Granted, I think Igbuka is probably the only, like, head scratcher landing spot where it to use that capital to it almost be
Yeah.
like a luxury pick. And I just think we have to temper our expectations with. I mean, we've been spoiled last year with 3,000-yard first-round rookie receivers to lead their team. Remember my bold stat, my bold prediction to start last year was that we were going to have 5 rookie wide receivers lead their team in fantasy points. I almost got it
Right?
all. No, because
No, Keon missed
Keon missed.
for sure. Yeah,
But other
but
than
he was
that,
close.
yeah. So, which was depressing because it wasn't close and
You
he was
know,
good. But
I think that
that's not going to happen
it's
every
just
year. there's only 32 NFL teams. We had 4 do it on 1 year.
it's not going to happen every year, but I do think that it's the wide receiver position is just such a skill position, and it's also a position that throughout the years of the NFL, it wasn't as important as it has been the last 10 years. So I feel like it's not a position that people really. Uh, I feel like it had to catch up compared to other positions when you're talking about how the skill set progressed over time. So I feel like what we're seeing is that everybody wants to be a wide receiver now, and they actually get paid well, and that's the direction the NFL is going. And I think that like wide receivers are just getting really good. Like all these college wide receivers are just getting actually really good
Well,
versus in the past. I
the
think that
skill
they were
floor.
developing in the NFL.
Yeah, the skill floor has risen like crazy. I mean, now college football is NFL light. These kids are getting
Yeah.
paid millions of dollars to play. Um, it's just to go back to the original argument is like if it's not deep, there's not a single receiver on this class that would be mentioned above Marv, Neighbors, Rome. At least those 3.
Uh, I think
You're
Ted might have
forgetting.
Ted probably would have rivaled Rome.
I mean, I guess Tet went at 8, was it? And Rome went at 9 or 10, something like that. I mean, as far as
Just the way I'm
draft pick.
remembering, yeah, I feel like they're pretty similar.
I'm just
But,
saying.
yeah.
The top end just was way more elite.
Well, yeah,
than
that's
here.
what I was saying.
So just to end it with Burden, I think this is gonna backfire real bad. But I'm in on the Bears. I'm in on the Bears. I
I'm
I
being
don't see how it
slightly
goes
optimistic, but
wrong.
also pessimistic.
The problem is on paper it can't go wrong. There's only positive things that have happened to this team, but the problem is they're the Bears. So it's like where it's like, oh,
I
no matter how many good things can happen to the Browns, they're still the Browns.
Well,
So
the issue is that it always just comes back to the quarterback. Like if Caleb Williams is just not the guy, then
I still believe in Caleb Williams though. I saw enough
I do
last
too.
year, and the areas of
I
concern I think they've tried to address, and I think that they no longer are grasping at straws, trying to put square pegs in round holes, and now they actually have some structure and professionalism throughout the growth of the team between bolstering the O line, um, adding Burden, adding Loveland. Like this offense should be good. Another year with Caleb Williams under the under the center. So
yeah. I'll
I'm
just
just
spoil
in.
it now. I have Burden almost. He's the last on my list,
Higgins is last on my
and the
list.
reason and the reason is because what you just said.
Oh yeah.
They drafted Rome.
No, I know.
They
It's
drafted
terrifying.
Loveland. And so that's where I'm like, I know that like he's gonna be more of a gadget player, whether he's gonna get manufactured touches for sure. But Loveland's probably gonna get manufactured touches too. And then you have DJ Moore. He already was getting manufactured touches. He also is like a hybrid Debo Samuel himself.
Yeah, I
And
know.
then you got Rome, who's probably gonna be the wide receiver one. And it's like,
I know.
yeah, it's
I get
there's
it.
so many mouths to feed, and that's why I kind of hate the Burden went there because I like him a lot.
I
But
Me too. Well, I was hoping some way somehow maybe he could fall to Denver in round 2. This might be
yeah,
a sneak peek on our bold predictions or hot take episode later in the year. I think there's a real it might the hot no, it's not bold predict. No, because I'm not willing to go that far. But I think the Bears might rival for the division. I think it's going to be close. I say the Bears win 10 games.
honestly, I will say I think that the Vikings have taken a step back, possibly.
Probably.
They've lost some pieces, and we just don't know what their quarterback's going to be. And I think the Lions have actually lost some really good pieces, like maybe not names you've heard of because they're on the O line or D line, but I think they've lost some like depth at some really important positions as well. So yeah, I mean, it's
It's
possible.
I think they could win 10 games. And
Oh.
I
It's just
mean,
so scary. I want to believe in them so bad, dude,
10
because I
games
really like Ben Johnson.
that's 10 and 7, you know? Like that's what 10 games is. 10 and 7.
Yeah, but
And
that's
like
also playing the Packers twice, the Lions twice, and the Vikings twice.
I know.
That's the problem. Because that's 6 losses right there.
I mean, but it might not be, you know? I,
It
I,
may not be.
I don't know. Just wanted to throw that out there, and how unfortunately I had to admit on camera that I'm in on the Bears in 2025. So, all right, let's run through these last few. Number 5, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Trey Harris.
Gordon.
Ugh.
That doesn't surprise me. You were out on Gordon. I like Gordon a lot. I
I
think
I think he's certified bust.
I think that he I think he slots right where he's at least talent wise. I actually think he's probably like talent wise. I would take him over Burden.
Mm.
I'd probably take him over Higgins even. But I think he also has to battle through Dobbs and Watson and Reed. So
Yeah, we've been trying to figure out who the Packers are in the passing game for the past 4 years, and we've had the same answer 4 years in a row. It's whoever the hell
yeah.
they feel like this week. So,
But I also think that they just kind of like made a statement by drafting him in the first round by saying like, okay, like this is our guy. We haven't done this in like 17 years.
hell, I think it
I
was
just
even
think it was a
longer than
statement.
that. But I get it. And this is purely because I don't like him as a player at all. Like, I didn't like
I
it.
don't understand that because
I've just got a
it's
thing.
tough. You know what? What's tough is that all we see is the highlights. And if you just watch Golden's highlights, I don't see how you could hate him.
I just don't. He his overall production was meh. Like, he was a late draft riser, and just something with those guys. My spidey sense is tingling because he had the 40-yard dash hype. I don't buy the 40-yard hype usually, unless
Well, I don't either.
they have a production profile that rivals it. And at Texas, he was never the guy. He still wasn't even the guy this past year. He's just the one that was draft eligible. So I think he got the 40-yard dash bump. I think he was a trap pick in the first round. And I just, the Packers situation, I mean, you mentioned it, and we don't have to beat that dead horse, is I just don't want to bother with it. I didn't like his attitude at the draft. I don't know, just don't like him. So, spoiler alert, he's my number 7, above Higgins, which now that I talk about it, I told you I'm lower on Higgins than I should, so I'm switching those. He's now my 8. So, but to go in on Trey Harris.
I actually see him very. Huh?
Well, I was going to go in on Trey Harris, but.
Oh, sure. Go on, Trey Harris.
Thank you for your permission. Just, the Chargers are searching for a wide receiver 1. Trey Harris is pretty good. I liked him, his play style at Ole Miss. He's a bigger body guy. I just think that they are looking for missing pieces to fill the hole. Is it going to happen immediately? Probably not. But I can see him thriving with the Chargers. I have too much to say.
I get too. The only reason that I have him like decently low is that I'm really in on
Lad
McConkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Lad McConkey is actually really good. And yeah, I don't know. It scares me. I think the wide receiver 2 position on the Chargers is just scary.
I mean, we had the goodness of Mike Williams and Keenan Allen for quite a few years. Like,
that's what I'm saying, then. Is that you had Mike Williams, who had one good year.
Mike Williams had more than one good year, but I'll give you that.
A full season, he had one good year. If you want to talk about when he was on the field, he was always good.
Well, sure, but his downfall was always just injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, last year. Oh wait, no, sorry, that was. I mean, he started.
But I don't know what it is, bro. Like what the fuck happened to Josh Palmer? He went from being.
He's on the Bills.
Actually, really good. Well, no, I'm saying he went. No, but like 2 years ago, he went from being actually really good.
He's fine.
As a wide receiver 2, after like him and Keenan Allen, and then Keenan Allen leaves, and he has the team to himself. And he did nothing. He disappeared.
I think it's being understated, and this was my issue. Not that my issue, but my concern with Jaden Higgins is I think it's really hard, and people don't give enough credit to how difficult it is to take command as a wide receiver in the NFL and be consistent. I think it takes a lot of trust. I think it takes a lot of skill and the opportunity that's given to you. Like, you just have to do something with it. And I think that's harder. It's like, oh, great player, opportunity, plug him in, he's going to do the same thing. I think that's like harder to do than what people give credit for. That's why wide receivers have the highest bust rate in the first round.
Yeah.
I think it's just that transition is extremely hard.
Yeah, and it also depends. Like, it's not as much in your hands as it is a running back's hands. It's like you have to depend on the running back has to depend on the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
A wide receiver has to depend on the O-line and then the quarterback to get him the ball still.
And the play call.
And a quarterback to not be really good. The play call. Yeah, it's like crazy. They have to go through so many hoops just to get the ball.
Mm-hmm. And that's
And then
why
you have to pray that your quarterback's not putting you in the hospital like Derek Carr.
it's extremely difficult to find that success. I could see Trey Harris finding that, but let's move on to our number 6.
All right,
I think we have the same one. 3, 2, 1. Jack Besh.
Besh. Hey,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Again, we mentioned earlier when we were talking about Genty, I think the Raiders are going to be good. And I think Besh, he fits, he can squeeze his way into that opportunity I was just telling you about, but without the pressure, without that added difficulty to it. I think he will have the opportunity to squeeze into that. I think he's already a good player, and I think with the security blankets of Bowers and Genty, and then with Myers as the more seasoned, consistent target, I think that opportunity will help him better in the long run than given credit for. So,
I mean, I think because they don't need him.
right.
I think they'll give him the time to get it going in the season because they don't need him to win the games.
Right.
So,
and I
think
think for a
it's
player of his
spot
caliber, that is ideal, as opposed to the Higgins situation, which this is more so just talking.
I think it's similar to Puka. I think Puka would be my comp for him, actually.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
They actually played very similarly, and also I think they went to a very similar position where Puka probably had even more of a leash because they really didn't need him.
Well, no, it was a Cooper 5th round pick, and
Cooper Kupp was, much better than Myers, but still, yeah, I like that.
Well, I already said my 7 and 8 between Higgins and Matthew Golden, and I don't.
Yep, and I have Harrison Burton.
Okay, sweet. So just to run down from top down: Travis Hunter 1, Tetairoa McMillan 2, Egbuka 3, Burden 4, Trey Harris 5, Besh 6, Jaden Higgins 7, Matthew Golden 8.
Yeah, and I've got Egbuka, Tet, Hunter, Higgins, Golden, Besh, Harris, Burden.
And now for the grand finale, to put you on blast for your heated debate on me for having Travis Hunter at number 1. Justin posted this graphic upon whatever information he had 2 weeks ago, and apparently the new information provided was necessary to follow up with a 15-minute debate on how much better of a rookie season Egbuka will have over Hunter. I didn't do this. So
I made this right after the draft.
You did not. I will timestamp this motherfucker. We made this like a week and a half ago.
Right. Okay, whatever. It was very soon after the draft. And I hadn't had that much time to think about it. And I've had time to think about it. And I just think, for me, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is good enough to support 2 wide receiver ones. And it's a 50-50 shot. So that's my issue with Hunter.
What is understood doesn't need to be said.
I just think it's risky.
Of course it's risky. Shit, halfway through the season they could say, you know what? You're a corner now. And then I'm toast in Dynasty. And
they threw Tim Tebow to the curb.
Yeah, they said, be a tight end. Never mind, you're cut.
Yeah.
So
he could be cut. I don't know. The Jags are retarded.
They'll just cut him. Cut him for free. Imagine the money. Or I don't even know how that would work. If they cut him.
Cut him. I don't think you can cut.
Of course you can. Draft picks get cut all the
time. No. Yeah, but he is.
You would just owe them money.
No, but he's like a pig protected. You have like a. I believe in like the first 2 or 3 rounds, you have like protection.
Well, but I'm saying what would happen.
I'm saying I don't think they can cut him. Like literally.
So they would just have to just not play him. If they didn't.
Yeah, I don't think you can cut a first round pick.
He gets a we'll close the show out with this knowledge.
I do know that apparently rookies, their contracts are guaranteed, which I didn't know.
All right. So Google AI says, yes, an NFL team can cut a first-round pick. Teams can release any player on their roster, including those selected in the first round of the draft, if they deem it necessary for various reasons. The reasons for releasing a player can range from performance issues, injuries, or even team dynamics. While a first-round pick is a significant investment, it doesn't automatically mean a player will remain on the team for their entire career.
Yeah, but look up, can you cut a first-round pick in their rookie season? Because, yeah, obviously, you can cut a first-round pick at some point.
Wait, so the NFL's collective bargaining agreement does not restrict teams from cutting players after their draft, including first-round picks, even in their rookie season. Oh, wow. So, but let's see.
Interesting.
I'm curious.
Oh, well, you know what? Wait, well, no, he wasn't a first-round rookie. But that, the Bills punter, remember him?
The Bills punter? No.
It was like Matarazzo.
Oh, yeah. Well, his was a legal thing.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying he got drafted and then cut the same year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I figured teams can cut players for any reason. And I just wanted to know what would happen. So can they hit, like, the waiver wire? So can teams could they claim Travis Hunter on the waiver wire? And would it just be the next person who has, like, next team that has priority? I don't know.
I mean, I assume so, yeah.
But, like, imagine.
No, they'll put him in the draft next year.
I mean, in reality, no one would ever cut Travis Hunter. You could trade him for a bajillion picks anyways. So, but that's enough theory talk about fantasy football. We've been at this joint for an hour and 42 minutes. So
holy shit, dude! Why'd you? I told you we should have stopped and just done the wide receivers next day.
Now I know you can see me pointing right at you because we fixed our camera setup. So you ain't gonna do
I can
that.
always see you.
Yeah, but I would be like this.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
Because I know you're always from this angle. So
I
now I
can
come right at your soul, and I can stare you in the face.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. This was fun. I'll put this back up so anyone can view the glorious true rankings of fantasy this season, and I'll stamp it. Stamped. So, without further ado, let's get out of here. As always, don't miss the last call for fantasy football. Deuces.